getting high. 30.449. New fast flat for you.
All right, let's take a look at that. So this is gonna be second lap, hot lap. And first thing you're gonna notice is the wheel's gonna be at a really weird angle. That's just open set fun stuff for qual sets. We're gonna be full throttle, so it shouldn't matter too much, but yeah, take a little bit to get used to that. So just full throttle on your first lap, 3 and 4, make sure that you're up to pace. I like just being with left sides right on the seam the whole way. I don't wanna be right by the wall because it might drag me a little bit. So just try to straighten out your wheel as early as possible. And then I do cut the apron coming to the start finish line here. I do find that it saves about 100th. If you really don't want to cut the apron like this, you're only going to lose like 100th of a second not doing it. So it's not huge. So I'd like to keep it down as far as possible for a long time, but then I really want to be parallel right on the wall before this black sign right here. If I'm not on the wall here, I'm going to miss my entry. So you don't want to stay pinned down for too long. So I need to turn down before the black sign, and I'm going to be aiming to make it basically a straight line down to the bottom. Full throttle, of course, full throttle this whole way, and we're just gonna late apex or relatively late apex because we are not going to turn our steering wheel at all after getting to the apex. A lot of people will want to keep the car on the white line here, but that's just gonna bog the car down, be slow. So what we want is to get this late-ish apex and then just kind of keep our steering wheel and let the car slide up the track like so. And you'll see that I want to keep the car pinned a little bit so that we can straighten out our exit in time. So you notice I'm essentially just holding my steering wheel and my throttle for like the entire second half of the corner. Like it's really as simple as that. You don't want to make it too complicated. Just doing this, it really, if you get that late-ish apex, this is really all you got to do. And you just hold everything, and then you just time straightening out the wheel so that you can be up right by the wall, but not bog your car down at all. So yeah, that's really all it is for 1 and 2. 3 and 4, not going to be a heck of a lot different. Again, I'm going to want to start turning in about when the green wall turns to white on the side here. You don't want to turn in too early because you'll get to the bottom too early. Don't want to turn too late because you'll have to use too much steering wheel and bog your car down. So this is about that time where I'm just driving down the hill with the banking. Once I get to the white line, we're going to hold the steering wheel and just full throttle. Just hold the steering wheel, let the car slide. Let the car slide up, hold the steering wheel. And then as we get closer and closer to the end of the corner, we'll straighten out the wheel. But not quite because we're going to go back down to the apron to get as much time at the end as possible. So yeah. So that's really the big key here is don't try too hard to keep the car on the white line because you'll either snap loose or you'll bog the car down. Just get down there, late apex it slightly, but then let the car just slide up on its own. Don't fight it. It'll work out. And that's a pretty good qual lap for this temperature condition. So now let's go take a look at the long run. Alright, so I'm about 20 laps into this long run here, so I just want to go over what I've figured out so far and my recommendations, and then we'll kind of finish out this long run and about 30 laps or so. So, it was full throttle bottom for pretty much 8 laps, 8 to 10 laps. Once you get to that 8 to 10 lap mark, you can still full throttle the bottom, but you start like sliding your tires in a way that's not beneficial to you, so I would start bleeding the throttle very, very slightly on corner center and corner entry. Maybe only to like 90-80%. Then as we go along in the run, I'm starting to bleed my throttle more and more. I'm still only getting down to like 60 or 70, and this is like lap 23 in the run. But you need that to kind of keep your rears engaged, keep everything from sliding. And then 1 and 2, I do like the high line still. Full throttle high line. Very comfortable, not difficult at all, and you're going to get a good run off the corner and the car is not going to hate it too much. 3 and 4 though, I'll show you right here, I do not like the high line 3 and 4. You have to actually get out of the gas to be up here. This might become a play. It's still decently fast, but I just think that the handling is a lot more unnatural on the top of 3 and 4 than in 1 and 2. The bottom is still viable though. I think that people who stay on the bottom as long as they can are going to be more successful on the late run because just in general running the top uses more tire. Like you can see there, I was barely barely slower on the bottom than the top, and I was full throttling the top and I was just getting on the bottom. 3 and 4, I think I can be almost as fast also. You can see here it's about even. So I would recommend, as we get into the later run, I do like this top of 1 and 2. I do just like full throttling this top of 1 and 2 right here, just keeping the car as straight as possible, no sliding your tires, and it's very fast. 3 and 4, I don't know if I can recommend running the top unless you're defending or you're doing something side by side, because I really just like this bottom in 3 and 4. I really do. As we get closer to lap 30, the car seems to have stabilized in lap time. There was a big fall off early, obviously, as it happens around lap 15. But here, yeah, it's just, car feels good up here, it feels natural. Not really having to work too hard to make it work up there. 3 and 4, I do just like flipping out to 60-70% and driving the car along the bottom. This is a very good handling car. I have no complaints with it. I made no adjustments at all. Sometimes I do make tweaks to it, but for this car, there's not really much more I want, especially in the single car run right here. I would like maybe 3 and 4 to have a little more grip, but I don't know if that's much that the setup can do. I think it's just the nature of 3 and 4 between 1 and 2, because 1 and 2 I can hook up really well. 3 and 4 I got to work a little harder. I got to flip off a little early, really make sure to hit the bottom, and then even then you'll see the car slide up a little prematurely like this every once in a while. That's not what we're looking for, but it's just you really got to hit your line in 3 and 4. 1 and 2, you don't have to work as hard. Like, I'll show you the bottom 1 and 2 here. I can just kind of go to the bottom, and it'll just get there. And when I slide up, it's not going to get too close to the wall. Very casual and easy. 3 and 4, you got to work really hard. Get to the bottom, make sure you really get to the bottom. Like you see there, I missed the bottom a little bit, and I'm still going to slide up a little earlier than I want to slide up. Still better than last lap, but not great. So it's that's what it's going to be, in my opinion. If you can keep your discipline and stay low, especially in 3 and 4, and hit those lines over and over again, you're going to be competing for the win here, because this is a very versatile setup. It can go multiple places if it really wants to. I'll even show you here. I'll go high 3 and 4, but I'm going to have to blip out on entry. Just, yeah, there's a lot more tire chatter. The car just does not like that as much as the top of 1 and 2, and I'm not even faster. So, I really like the bottom of 3 and 4. Top of 1 and 2 is great though. Love it. This is perfectly good corner. Getting a little loose even. If your car is getting loose on the top, that's a good sign that the car is handling it. But 3 and 4, yeah. Really want to get to that bottom. Let's see if I can get there. I hit the apron a little bit, but yeah. We'll do one more lap here. That'll bring us to a 30-lap run, and we'll check our tires, see how it's wearing, see anything that we would change. Okay. I'm going to try bottom last lap of 1 and 2. Yeah, it's just 1 and 2 just grips a lot easier than 3 and 4. I say that and I hit the wall. I wasn't blipped out long enough again. Whoops. We'll call it there. My bad, but more or less where we wanted to end. Okay, so we ended on 74.80. So yeah, gonna be right front wearing here. So the bottom is going to be beneficial, especially in 3 and 4. I do think moving to the top in 1 and 2 then, if we're wearing that much right front, you saw how it was getting on the right rear a little bit on the top of 1 and 2. So maybe making that top of 1 and 2 your permanent line would be beneficial. 3 and 4 though, there's just too much tire chatter, too much wheel input up on the top. I really would recommend the bottom for as long as you can handle it. All right, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all on the track.